Today we're going to cover the anchor base. I went ahead and started an IPT file that uses our English Standard Inch file. And we're going to start with creating this base feature. And we're actually going to create this entire sketch on one sketch and then do multiple extrusions to be able to create the part. If you're looking at this from the top view, everything can be sketched on that first plane and created from there. So let's go ahead and choose our rectangle command and let's put our rectangle in here. And if we look at this, we know the vertical line should be 3 inches. And as well as our horizontal line should also be 3 inches. We're given this measurement between the holes as 2 inch, and we know this diameter here is 1 inch. So from the center to the edge is a ½ inch. So a ½ inch plus 2 is 2.5 inches. And then this hole here has the same center as this radius of a ½ inch. So we know from here to the edge is also a ½ inch. So that's how we get our 3 inch diameter. And I'm just going to go ahead and center this around our origin. Okay, at that point, let's go ahead and start by placing all of our holes. And all of our smaller holes, even the one that's going all the way through the cylinder, is a ½ inch. So let's go ahead and choose our circle command. Let's scroll in here and place our ½ inch. And I'm just going to place these first, and then we'll go ahead and constrain them after. All right, so the first thing I want to do is select my dimension command. And from our edge here, I want to put in our ½ inch. And from our edge here, I want to go ahead and put our ½ inch. Now, I do want to say that once we put in this radius here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. We have a 1 inch diameter or a ½ inch radius on both of these here. And I'm going to put this in. I'm just going to show you something real quick. And let's go ahead and get this placed in the right location here. I'm going to select my center points so that they're vertical here. And we'll go ahead and move this as well, which should be a ½ inch. So from here to here, it's going to be a ½ inch as well. And if I come in and do my trim here and get rid of this piece here, I want to just see what happened. Did you see how this adjusted because we have that dimension in? And when I erase that or I trim that off, since I use this as my actual dimension constraint, that's why it's doing this because this 3 inches already here. However, if I delete this and I go ahead and trim these sides real quick here, and then I came in and put my dimension in at this point, we don't have that issue. So see how it kind of corrected that for us? And then if we come over here, we can go ahead and we can use our horizontal constraint there for both our centers of both of our circles. And then we could also go ahead and put a dimension in here as well. And the same thing that we were just talking about on this side will happen on the other side as well. So we have to be conscientious of that. And I'm just going to use my vertical so I don't have to put extra dimensions in. And that way, if I change the location of one of these holes, it'll change the location of the others. I can also put in equals instead of having all of these individual measurements here. I could actually put each one of these equal as well. And that way, if I change one, it's going to change all. So keep that in mind as you're moving through to create your items here. Now, I could put in a dimension here or a circle in here and do a trim, or I can also do my fillet, and the radius is a ½ inch. And I can come in here and fillet this off as well. So that's just another option. Now, the reason I didn't do it with these is because I'm going to need this to offset to get that 0.1 kind of rail through here. So that's why I didn't do it on this side, but I did do it on the other. And again, let me just show you. So if I was talking about, I can make these equal. So I can make everything equal. Whoops, don't put two of them on one though. Same thing here. If I want to change this one and I want it to be equal to this here, I can just do that. So if I change one, so if I change this to, 0.75, it's going to throw me an error because of my trims that I have in there, but it would adjust everything for us. But like I said, in this case, we don't really need to do that. But I just wanted to show you how to create that equal if you weren't sure from our our first Inventor course. All right, so now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put in my circle here. And it has, again, a hole that goes through as a 1/2 inch. And the diameter, the larger cylinder, is 1. And I can do a couple different things. I can have this aligned to my origin here. And then I can also put my dimension from here to here will be that 1/2 inch because it's a 1-inch diameter. And then at this point, I'm going to go ahead and create these lines here that are tangent between the two larger circles. So I selected my line command, and then I'm going to right click and do my point snaps and choose tangent. And I'm going to choose my circle for my tangent. See how I have the line wherever I go here, it's going to stay tangent. I'm going to right click again and choose point snaps and do tangent and select my second circle. At this point, I'm going to right click and repeat my line. Again, right click, point snaps. I'm going to choose tangent. And then I'm going to right click and choose tangent one more time. At this point, I'm almost finished with this part, except I have to offset this 0.1, and then we'll move into doing our extrusions. So let's go ahead and choose our offset. So I can just come in here and to put in my 0.1 for each item. Now, another option is you could actually create this and create everything and change it over to a polyline. But in this case, I think it's just easier because of what we're going to be trimming and keeping. So to have it done this way. And it looks to me like I went the wrong way on that one. Oh no, we've got it. So we're here. Yeah. There we go. Whoops. Got the wrong. And that happens sometimes. There we go. So we can just come in here and let's select these and let's, whoops, not the dimension, and let's get rid of those. There we go. That looks a little bit cleaner here. Oh, and I missed one more. We need to offset this piece here as well. And then at this point, we just go in and trim what we don't want to keep. So we're going to get rid of this. And this is the part I think is a little bit difficult with all the trimming that you're going to be doing. So just take your time as you go through this because you want to keep this, imagine pouring paint into this ridge here, between these lines, and the paint would fill everything in. So everything that would be blocking the paint we'll want to get rid of. So same thing here. We want to get rid of that. Now, this is a good point. I want you to look and see what happened. See how I trimmed this and this part of the circle went away? Sometimes when we're doing our offsets, we don't actually have a coincident, we don't have a connection to this circle. So what I can always do is I can always hit extend and trim just to make sure that items are completely touching the circles as we needed there. So that would be my guess. And sometimes, even when you think you have everything, you may have to go back and fix it. There we go. And zoom out. Let's get this piece here. Actually, we're keeping that. We're getting rid of this. Getting rid of this one. So here the paint's going around. We're getting rid of this. Paint's going around. Getting rid of this. And we also want to get rid of that part of our circle. And we probably just deleted one of our dimensions. So we'll want to fix that. Looks like we want to get rid of, oh, I see. See again how that is not actually connected. So let's just hit a quick undo and put those back on that side. So let's do this extend. And I'm not sure what part's not touching, so we'll just do both of them. And now let's make sure that it's getting rid of what we don't want here. There we go. We forgot that one. Same thing on that side, so we're going to have to fix that one too. So we actually just don't have a connection at each one of those points. So see how when we select this, we now have this coincidence that these are now tied to that entirely. So now when we trim it, it goes away. All right, it looks like we have everything at this point, so we're going to go ahead and finish sketch. I'm just rotate it here. And I'm going to hit my extrusion, and I'm going to make sure everything I have here. So see how this is not just choosing. See how it's choosing the whole plane. It's not just choosing the individual. So then that tells me somewhere in here I don't have that incident. So I'm going to go back. So what I'm saying here is if I go ahead and show all my constraints here, and let's just select our lines. I'm showing my constraints. So I want to make sure that I have this coincident constraint tied to each one of those. And like I said, some of the easier ways, see how when I selected that, it just created it for me. See how it just created it there for me? And I don't see one here, but I'm going to put that there and trim it away and see if one actually is created there. And let's just finish our sketch and see if by chance that was the only thing. Yep, see, so those were not, we didn't have that intersection, that coincident right there tied to that piece. So now that we have this done, we're going to go ahead and start by selecting everything. And we're actually going to make everything extrude downward for this point. And our thickness here, I don't have on here, is actually 0.25. Okay. And again, I'm going to select everything because everything's going to have that thickness. Now, of course, I'm not going to select my holes. We're going to leave our holes off of there. And we're going to zoom in, make sure we get that nice offsets there. And then we're going to select the plus button. And now we're going to build up from here. And I'm just going to start with my cylinder. And my cylinder height, I apologize, I don't have it on here either, but it's actually 0.75. I may have to go back and add those for you guys. And it looks like our wall here, we're going to hit our plus, do another one here, select what I'll call the wall here, and that is actually 0.5. And then I'm going to hit my plus again, select the interior component, and that leaves 0.2, so this is actually 0.3. Or again, if you always wanted it to be 0.2, regardless of how tall the wall or the cylinder get, you could put a formula in there. So this dimension here, we'd have to go back and see what dimension number it is, minus 0.2, and then that would adjust for you no matter what. And then you can go ahead and select OK, and this is your completed part.